You're the Superb back with another video, and I just got done watching Guardians of the Galaxy 3. This is James Gunn's final Guardians movie, and man, what a trilogy has been. What a fantastic, you know, adventure that we've had with these characters. And I'm not going to go into any spoilers because I will have a live discussion this Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So definitely tune in for that to get more in-depth kind of breakdown of this movie. And I'm going to have other people to talk about it with me as well. Can't wait for that. So I'm going to just give you my initial thoughts of this movie. So this is following up with the holiday special. I would recommend definitely checking that out before you watch this movie, just so you can kind of get some more backstory, because like if you skipped out on that, some things will kind of be kind of odd to you, just like the introduction of Cosmo the dog. And I really like the new characters that we get introduced to in here, and a lot of characters that were kind of on the sideline really stepped up in this sequel. The Guardians themselves, Star-Lord, Peter Quill, he's still kind of dealing with missing Gamora and trying to, re-spark that, that love that they had before she died. And this is a completely different Gamora, and Gamora now is like a Ravager. She's very much like Nebula now. When we first met with Nebula, she's very cold, very straightforward. It's completely the opposite now, and now you have Nebula, where she probably has the most interesting character development throughout all the Guardians, in my opinion. And seeing Drax just being Drax, seeing Groot being Groot. But what I really loved about this movie is the backstory of Rocket and how heartbreaking that was, and how this all ties in with our main villain, the High Evolutionary, which I thought the High Evolutionary was a very solid villain. You know what I'm saying? He was very straightforward. He is pretty much a mad scientist. He's the reason why we have the Sovereign and these other, groups of civilizations out there in the galaxy. He's created that, and they kind of bring that whole thing back with Adam Warlock and whatnot from Guardians 2, which just is an interesting take on Adam Warlock, because I'm not really too familiar with his character in the comics. I know he had a big part in Infinity War, but they obviously left that out, and they're doing something completely different with his character. And I could see that rubbing some people the wrong way, because how he's introduced in this movie, he's very much a fish out of water, very attached to his mom, just listening to whatever his mom says, very much like a mama's boy. But I do like his power, and it definitely, I just like the potential. I want to see where they go with his character in the future, if he's gonna pop up in like Secret Wars or maybe Kang Dynasty or something like that, because I think this is not the last time you've seen the Guardians themselves, but I think this is definitely the last time you're going to see this specific team on the Guardians and whatnot. But yeah, man, this was fantastic, bro. For me, I've always liked the Guardians because they're just a weird bunch of characters, similar to like a Doom Patrol and stuff like that, and they're just this dysfunctional family that they'll do whatever it takes to protect one another. Like the minute that Adam Warlock steps into the scene, he's pretty much in charge of getting Rocket for the High Evolutionary, because that's his biggest goal. His biggest goal is to get Rocket Raccoon, because out of all the different experiments that he has created, he is pretty much the key to that. And with Adam Warlock kind of stepping in, that ended up kind of putting Rocket pretty much on life support. So throughout the whole movie, the Guardians are trying to figure out a way to save Rocket Raccoon, but at the same time, while he's kind of having this like near-death experience, he is having flashbacks of his past and people that were his friends and people that he saw as his family. And that shit was really sad, man. It was really dark. It almost gave me like Sweet Tooth vibes. You know, if you've ever seen Sweet Tooth, you know what I'm talking about. Just the different character motives are really dope. You just really feel like you really feel for this this group of characters, bro. And you know, they do whatever it takes. And I love the action scenes in this. I think this has one of my favorite hallway scenes. I think you definitely have to put Guardians 3 hallway scene up there, because that was fucking dope. Seeing everybody just going the fuck off, and you know, the pacing I thought was really well done. It has a lot of funny, humorous moments, but I feel like James Gunn somewhat toned it down. So I think it's a little bit more balanced, you know what I'm saying? Where you'll have those funny comedic moments, but also very dark moments, you know, of just destruction and stuff. I'm just like, wow, this is pretty crazy. Like, just people just get off left and right. And it's all about family. You know, that's all this trilogy has always been about. And what's been lacking in these other MCU movies, when they try to kind of lay out this whole family kind of dynamic, I think the Guardians does it the best, because, you know, it's a group of misfits that end up just becoming this family. And, you know, their morals and what they stand for, what it means to be a Guardians of the Galaxy, and all the people that they have to protect, they're willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that they're going to complete a mission. And I loved it, man. I also still like the introduction, or not the introduction, or the use of music. You know, the old type of music. I know a lot of people are kind of over it, but I liked how it kind of came full circle. I like what they do with Star-Lord's character, and, you know, him. I always liked Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, man, because he definitely shows his leadership. You know, this is all about himself now. He is completely, you know, found his family, because that was pretty much what the first two movies were. Like, you know, the first one was really about his mom, the second one was about his dad, and now this is about himself, and, you know, going back to his roots and whatnot. And I just loved how it all came together. I thought it was really wonderfully done, in my opinion. You know, I know a lot of people are going to feel that way. Some people hate James Gunn. I have no idea. I personally have loved what James Gunn has done with these comic book properties, from Guardians 1, 2, Peacemaker, the holiday special. Like, for me, James Gunn doesn't miss, and I cannot wait to see what he's going to do over there at DC when he gets the ball rolling. But yeah, I want to talk more about this when I get to see it a second time. I'll be able to kind of really have I have my full thoughts on how I want, like, where I want to rank this amongst other MCU movies. But thus far, I think the Guardians is my favorite trilogy right now, you know, next to Captain America and whatnot. So that's definitely going to be a discussion to be had over the years. If you have seen this movie, what did you think about it? I will see y'all on Sunday. We'll talk a little bit more. I know I had to be a little bit vague, but like I said, I was kind of blown away by this movie. You know, I had a fun time. I got teary-eyed at sometimes. It was just a dope experience. And there are 2 post-credit scenes. So keep that in mind. But yeah, like I said, that's just my quick take on the movie. Let me know how you guys felt about it, if you've seen it. Till next time, I'm out.